Good morrow, my lovely little ghosts, and welcome to the Dark Orchard. I'm Laura, and this is a Black Veil Brides video. As I said in my intro, this is a Black Veil Brides video. More specifically, today I'm going to be talking about the new Black Veil Brides single, Scarlet Cross, and doing a makeup look to correspond with it. And, as is typical Laura, when I do a Black Veil Brides inspired makeup look, inspired by a specific era, I'm going to be doing a look inspired by Cece. I really love the new look. I love the feathered hair, and I especially love the new markings on the face. It's very different from his usual makeup. So I'm going to take this look and twist it a little. So before I get into any big facts or even the makeup, let me just announce that Black Veil Brides has a new song/music video under the title Scarlet Cross. Absolutely stunning video all around. But we'll get into that. I'm going to jump into this by doing some red on the lid. And I'm probably not going to be doing too much instruction as far as the makeup goes, because I want to really focus on this music video. So the main idea behind the music video is absolutely beautiful. You can really tell all of Andy's inspirations. You really get a lot of vibes. For me, it was like V for Vendetta, Batman, The Crow, and Buffy, and also Phantom of the Opera. Like, lots of different vibes, but all somewhat cohesive. And we really went back to Black Veil roots with this song. They had the melodic sound that they usually have throughout the chorus. And then they also went back to Heart of Fire. And then also we get the band playing as a story unfolds, which is very which takes you back to some of their older videos. Like Rebel Love Song, you get a separate storyline than them playing, and they're playing the soundtrack for the story, which may change as we see new videos coming in. They weren't main focus of the storyline. I think any Black Veil Brides fan will love this song. It really does fall back into their roots and just into the creativity again that we got to see very in depth with the story of the Wild Ones. So there's definitely a religious overtone to this new storyline. And I know in the Kerrang Article, Andy said that he doesn't like the words concept album. So we're going to steer clear of that while talking about it. But the storyline is really, really enthralling. It's very interesting so far. And I'm really, really excited to know what else there is. I want to know more about the characters being introduced in this first song. And I want to know if it's going to be this is the first part of it, or if we're catching it in the middle, you know? So let's talk about those outfits, because I love, 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 love costuming and fashion and all things that this video gave us. So let's discuss. The outfits that they wore were gorgeous. Gorgeous. So in the Kerrang article that I will link down below, Andy hand-stitched the outfits that are worn in this music video, which blows my mind. I know that he has altered outfits in the past, but looking at these outfits, I'm just mind blown. Look at that. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just look at it. The appliques of the crosses are perfect. There's lapels. Jinx's capelet, it's all so perfect. And while I have this up on screen, I had to talk about this later, but I'm going to talk about it now because it's up here. The outfits all fit each individual member. Jinx with the buttons up the front and the capelet, and Cece with just the vest because we gotta have those hips all the way out. And I love Lonnie's outfit so much. So much. It's precious in the best ways. I love the way that the coat is cut and the lapels on it. precious. And of course, the little glove. It all fits. It all works cohesively and still fits each individual member. And since we are talking about outfits and Andy's mind and all of that, let's just get it out of the way and talk about Andy's complete ensemble. And I'm actually going to pop that picture back up so we can talk about Andy's outfit because I can't find a full body picture of him right now. I wish this was more of a pointer. Let's talk about what we can see. And then we're going to go to a different picture. What we can see here is the high-waisted fitted pants to avoid things that Andy avoids. So the high-waisted fitted pants, they look very much like tuxedo pants, and they're like his signature pants, held up by suspenders. Love the suspenders. Just the best. Suspenders, one of my favorite accessories. Absolute favorite accessories. So onto the upper part of the look. Right, we're talking about this. I'll get back to this in a second, but let's talk about this for just a minute. So the first time that we saw the poster for the Phantom Tomorrow, the same posters that are in the music video, we saw Andy from like the neck down, which of course showcased the clerical collar. The clerical collar, of course, is usually known as the priest collar, and it is typically a symbol of a priest's holy calling. So the use of that in this video, I love the symbolism, and from reading the Kerrang article, which again is a great read, so you definitely need to check it out, but from reading that, the storyline is going to follow a group of people that believe they are not what society has labeled them as, I think is the best way to say that without speculating too much, but that makes sense. And I really love the religious element that Andy put into this. Puts a nice twist on it, and it keeps you guessing. So aside from the high-waisted pants, the suspenders, and the collar, we also get that really cool jacket. I loved the lining. The lining being red on these jackets really gave you just like a flash, a pop of color. So the fact that they all have a pop of red underneath and then the red applique cross, so gorgeous. And especially love the cross placement. I think the cross placement is just a really good eye catcher. Your eye just really flows over Andy's outfit in total because you obviously start with the bright blonde hair that we will get to in a moment. But you start with that blonde hair, which is new-ish. Like we've seen Andy with blonde hair before for the Billy Idol thing, but this is a new era and it's a new change. So for this new character in The Phantom Tomorrow, we get a blonde Andy, and then your eye just sort of travels. It goes to like the collar and the lapels, and then the lapels lead right down into that cross, and it's just gorgeous. And of course the way he moves, the way he tenses his hands and everything, like the whole video has a gorgeous visual. And each individual band member brings a little something to that, especially when Jake and Jinx play back to back, which is always one of my favorite parts of seeing them live, so I'm glad that it was incorporated into a video. So let's get back to that bleach blonde hair. The first thing I thought of when I saw this hair, Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then of course when you think about Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you think about Billy Idol.
Actually, Billy Idol stole his look from... Never mind. Has he been here?
So honestly, I love this hair. Like, love this hair. Just because who doesn't love Spike and Billy Idol? But I do think that the blonde was a good choice for the kind of character that he is portraying in this new storyline. It feels like there's a deep religious element to it, obviously, with all of the Catholic references. So blonde just feels like a better choice all around. Might have gone a little too dark with that. This is what happens when I just talk and don't think. So let's talk about the storyline in the music video versus the band playing. As much as we love to see the band in the video, they had a separate storyline this time. And it was a It was a girl in a robe running from 2 attackers. Which, to be completely honest with you, also gave me Buffy vibes. It reminded me of like the First and the Bringers and all of the things that are brought up in season 7. But that's just where my brain went. I love Buffy, and that's just where my mind went. But aside from the Slayer vibes that I got, the main girl in the storyline was wearing a robe. The robe reminded me of like a 1700s choir robe in the way that it looked fitted to her body. But the reason it looked so fitted was because it had a belt that appeared to be more of a leather material, which was great detailing. Great detailing. Adding a bit of like a modern twist to a historical garb. And I know it's probably not a historical garb, but it reminded me so much of those. And I worked a lot with like the 1800s choir robes and undertaker robes, and I've made a few undertaker robes before, so it was just really cool to see that sort of incorporation versus the attackers, who had a terrible fashion sense. I mean, the ties alone were ugh. Okay, I took a brief intermission there and fixed what I had done. I just cleaned up some of that smoke because I had just turned myself into one of Cece's raccoons, and that's not what we were going for, so fixed that. So we were talking about the guys that were chasing the girl. Their fashion sense sucked, but their masks were really cool. And speaking of masks and disguises, the Blackbird, which is like the anti-hero of the whole story, the one that comes in at the last minute, Blackbird's disguise was really cool too. And the Blackbird reminded me of something, and I can't pinpoint exactly what it was. Like maybe the Invisible Man? Maybe? Something like that. Like I've seen a similar concept, but slightly different. But either way, that character looks so cool. I cannot wait to see the progression of that storyline. And I loved the feathers. The straight shoulder feathers. Very high fashion for a vigilante. So another really cool thing that they did in the video was more than once Andy did the self-blessing, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost blessing with a finger, and I just thought that was a really cool element. I'm really loving the Catholic influence into this video and into the storyline. It makes me really excited to see where it's all going and what inspirations he's actually drawn from. I'm just really, really excited for all of it. So we also got little posters leading up to the release of this song. There was a crow outline, which of course looked like the crow outline that the crow from The Crow would put after each kill. You know, you've most likely seen The Crow. Like the fire outline that made the shape of a crow. That's what one of the hints looked like. Then another one was like a superhero mask. Like something that you'd see from Robin. And then there was the Scarlet Cross. So I'm wondering if we're going to get a song for each one, if the crow represents the Blackbird, which is the new vigilante of the whole storyline, and maybe the masks, the Black Veilboids, are incorporated into the story somehow, and they help the vigilante? I don't know. Just speculation, just guessing, just throwing some ideas out there. But with Andy's brain, you never know. You just never know. You can't guess, because it's always going to take some different turn. But speaking of guessing, I did guess somewhat the theme from the posters and everything, and I'd been preparing for this video for a while. The ending of the video, ended like a comic book, which was so super cool. I really loved that part. Like, I know that comic books are a huge influence into this new storyline, especially Batman, and we all know Andy loves Batman, so it was just really cool to see that, like, that ending frame and hear that, like, nostalgic comic book music over top of, like, a written cliffhanger. It was just really, really cool. Like, overall, an awesome video, beautiful visuals from the ensembles to the music itself to just the overall visual. It was all very aesthetic. Very, very aesthetic. That's the word. That's the word I've been grasping for this whole video. Is just pure aesthetic. And it's gorgeous. And it's obviously on brand for me because red and black. I love red and black. It was just a really nice Friday the 13th surprise. It made me happy. It gave me much joy and I was very thrilled by it. I'm now super excited for more. In the article that I keep talking about, it was estimated that the whole album will drop in the spring of 2021, but we're getting a whole lot of stuff before then, according to Andy. Hopefully, that's not just a tease. Hopefully we will be getting a whole bunch more. Hopefully my channel will be flooded with Black Veil Brides information soon, because I'm hooked. I'm like totally hooked by Scarlet Cross. So, I need more. I want to know all the details. I want to know the storyline. I want to know the characters. Like, I want to know more. I want to know everything that happens. And I've heard rumors of like a comic book or a movie like they did with Wretched and Divine. And my mind's just going crazy. Maybe this and maybe that. Maybe we'll get this. Maybe they'll do this. And, you know, just normal Black Veil Brides fan things. But a girl can dream, right? So one last thing before we go, we're going to talk about the new logo because there are a lot of mixed feelings about the new logo. This thing, the new logo, it's BVB, Black Veil Brides, but it's a little different. At first, like first glance when I first saw it, I thought it said DVD, and I thought it was like teasing a DVD, which was stupid, I know, but it just didn't read B to me, it read D to me. But now that I've seen the Scarlet Cross music video, now that I've seen all of the teaser images and everything that follows up with this and the Phantom Tomorrow and all of that, I can see how the BVB is written out here. I'm not going to go the Buffy route and say stakes. It looks like nails, like almost like coffin nails, how long they are. To me, it looks like it's supposed to be like nails making out the symbol, which again plays into like the Catholic theme and the different imageries that we got in Scarlet Cross. It makes more sense now. I love the one red line and then the white lines around it, and I like that it's stacked. Like, it's not just, it's interlocking, and I really enjoy that. I like that a lot. It's going to be really hard to draw when I'm trying to paint it or draw it or stitch it onto something, but it is very interesting. But to me, it is a very interesting concept to change the BVB logo into something more harsh. Instead of these smooth, round lines of a B, it's more harsh, jagged lines. It makes sense to the new theming. So I know there are mixed feelings about it. People are like, it doesn't even look like a B. People are like, I don't see the BVB in it. Or they just don't understand it in general. But after seeing the video, I do understand it more. And I think it's cool. I think it looks really cool. And once again, I'm excited to see more. Just more. So those were my thoughts on Black Veil Bride's new single, Scarlet Cross. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the new song. And I usually say if you don't talk to me about that, talk to me about something in the comments, because you know I love for you to talk to me in the comments. And still, if you really don't want to talk about the music video, do that. But I'd really like to know your thoughts on the music video. If you possibly could, Watch the music video if you haven't already, and talk to me down in the comments. What did you think? Thoughts, opinions, criticism? I need to know your opinions on the new Black Veil Brides video, because I'm a little biased, and maybe you're not. Down in the comments, tell me what you thought. And like I said before, I am going to link their music video at the end of this video, down in the description, and the Kerrang article will be down in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you come around again soon. Say bye. Bye.